you're out there, you're riding, you're having a good time, and taking in the outdoors.
The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning.
What's going on, guys? This is Carl, the RacerRed channel. I'm riding the Beta 500 RRS. Here's a cow. Look how terrified that poor cow is. There's more cows around right here. Look at how I'm displacing these cows. See how scared he is, how much he's running. Oh, he's terrified. Motorcycles are terrifying to animals. See, if you have a trail going through a bunch of cows like that, they'll just run away. They're terrified. Look at those poor cows. Look how fast they're running. Look how fast they're running away from me. Oh, that guy's coming toward me a little bit. Huh, that's weird. It's almost like cows aren't afraid of motorcycles. Oh. I'm just saying that because I was made aware of some restrictions based on movement of cattle and things like that, and how motorcycles in the area are scaring the cattle away from where they should be. That made no sense to me whatsoever, because of what you just saw. Like, cattle are never scared of motorcycles. That goes for any wild game. Wild game do not care. They're not any more scared of this motorcycle than they are of a person walking around out here. It's one of the reasons I like this bike so much, is just how smooth the power is. It's so forgiving. I dialed the front fork in pretty well too. This thing used to jackknife on me quite a bit. It has yet to jackknife this entire ride, and I've been on a lot of loose rock. But anyways, yeah, this bike is an amazing bike all around. But personally, one of the reasons I'm selling it is because as far as hardcore enduro stuff, I'd rather have a home point, and I'm talking about a vehicle or whatever that I'm able to go back to. I'd rather have one of those nearby than to ride highways out here with this bike and then hit the hard stuff. I just don't think it's kosher sometimes to take your vehicle that you rode in on out on some hard trails. So never felt too good about taking this on the hard stuff for that reason. There's nothing wrong with the bike really, although it is, and here's another point, it's not as light or as agile as my other two dirt bikes, because it's not a dirt bike. It's made to be a all-purpose bike, so there's no way it could possibly meet emission standards and all that stuff and be as good on Singletrack as the other bikes. That said, it's an awesome bike. I just don't feel as comfortable on this as I would my KTM 450 XDF or the Husqvarna TE 250. Each bike is made for different things, and this bike is a do-it-all bike, and that's what it's for. And you know, it does everything well, it really does, but it doesn't do everything excellent. It doesn't do it really well. I really enjoy the engine though. It has a great rev range and smooth power. The sack suspension seems to be really compliant. I used to bottom this out really bad all the time until I messed with it. I used to bottom it out all the time, and also it used to jackknife on me all the time. But I've fixed all those issues. I have been on this on this trail. You guys are probably not aware of what this actually is, because last time I was on it, it was all snowed over. I was on my two-stroke. That was sketchy. I got all the way to here, I think. I was right about here. And I'm talking like 3 feet of snow. That's probably an exaggeration. Maybe 1.5 feet of snow. I mean, it was completely white. My wheels were not touching the ground. It was just, I was floating on top of snow. So this is kind of an easy, well, it is an easy path. So I don't normally ride it unless it's covered in snow. But, oh man, there's so many sharp edges in that. Razor sharp rock. I'm gun shy now, but at least this time I have a transport vehicle that's waiting for me at the bottom of the mountain. It's important not to target fixate in here, and I know that's a tendency that a lot of us have. In fact, almost everybody has target fixation. You go where you don't want to go because you're looking where you don't want to go. You just fixate on that target and you go there. And really all that is the panic button of your brain saying, oh God, we need to do this. We just need to freeze. Less injury will happen. It's really hard to override that, but you can override it. But I still target fixate plenty. It's funny though, because as a beginner rider, the first things you learn, actually I've been right here. I rode all the way to here in the snow. Yeah, I remember that now. Took a picture right on that flat area right there. Wow, that's a long ways to ride in snow. Solo, I was by myself doing that. That's pretty crazy. And it's October right now. It's feeling a little bit brisk. So I'll probably head back before too long. But anyways, target fixation is something that, you know, every time I watch a beginner motorcyclist video and they crash, they roll on the throttle and they don't let go until they smash into something. And that's the first thing they learned, is how to roll on the throttle. They figured that out. They're just freezing. They roll it back and they're frozen. And then then you see their body flying around like a rag doll until they smash into a fence or a house or something. But that's target fixation. It's the same concept. It's not unlocking your brain. You get locked into that panic and that fear, and you do the wrong thing. And everybody does it to a certain extent. It's just the more experienced riders do it in ways that are a little bit more subtle. You know, I may do it in a section where I'm coming down a mountain and I get sideways in some rock, and I fixate on a certain rock I don't want to hit, and I smack right into it. I do that. Or also, I noticed a couple years ago, I have a tendency, once I get up in a high place and I lose momentum, I will jump off the bike instead of balance it. That's another panic response, and I've gotten way better at dealing with that, but it's still there in some areas. It's just competency kind of overrides a lot of that stuff. Suspension feels good on this, on these G outs especially. Stiffened up the front fork a little bit, and man, it feels as plush with no bottom. This is a really pretty trail, actually. You wouldn't want to fly over the top of that, straight into that gigantic mud hole. I'd be hiking out of here, probably. Holy smokes. Some of the things I see out here, I can't translate into the camera. That was sheer cliff into the great expanse. Whoa. I've got that exploration bug now. I always do when it's getting dark out and cold. I'm like, oh, my body's feeling really uncomfortable, and it's giving me that survival response. Let's just do some more dangerous things. Go out and see how far in the woods we can get. I don't know, man. I could do it. All right, well, there's the sun. I've got not much time. All right, well, let's see how this goes. One thing I've been trying to work on is staying loose. That's one thing to make yourself do something. It's another thing to do it loosely. And when things get sketchy, it's really important to stay loose. What is this nonsense? Yeah, I didn't plan on hitting this stuff on this bike. Lots of off camber here. Front end's hooking up pretty good so far. Also, there's moisture in the soil, so that helps. Terrain is brutal, but it is pretty. Well, it's getting late in the day, like I said earlier, but I think this leads to a road pretty quick. Shouldn't be too crazy of a ride as far as distance goes. I've got a solid hour at least, so that's a lot of time for me to be able to turn things around if it all goes south. I mean, I think within 15 minutes I should be in good territory. These rocks will sneak up on you. They are very unforgiving. And there's no real pattern to them either. One thing about granite, usually somewhat follows a pattern. This lava rock just falls where it falls. A lot of it is lava rock anyway. Alright, well, from 1 to 10 on the preparedness levels, I'm a 0. So, I don't recommend doing this. Ooh, boy, that's a big one. Look at the size of that. Lots of deadfall right here. Okay. The assumption is that I'm going this way. This trail has been recut. Lots of deadfall in here. Well, this may have been a bad choice to go down this trail. Looks like a friendly went through here and like completely cleared things out. Alright, now I'm a little bit more on the confident side that I'm gonna get out of here at least without having to turn around. Ooh, crushed my leg just then. Alright, now I'm starting to see my headlight more than I'm seeing without it, so it's getting a little sketchy. Looks like I am almost there. Famous last words. That's how all horror movies start. They're like, oh, here's a shortcut. Or, oh, we're almost there, don't worry. Ah, I've seen that tree before, what's going on? Why am I going in circles? I thought I knew this area. And then there's some old lady staring at me through the trees. I just get a glimpse of her and look over and she disappears. Interesting. Look at that beautiful lake right there. Oh, that's a stunner. That's a stunner right there. I bet there's good fishing in that. I swear this mountain, it's a never-ending cycle of trails. This stuff is barely visible. Pretty much everything over here is barely visible. Just barely staying alive. You guys need to come over here and ride these mountains over here. Especially in the springtime. Get some of this cleared out early on in the year. guys almost ran me over. There are some horns. Beautiful. Pretty, pretty. Oh, those poor, poor elk. Those poor elk. They were so close to this dirt road, it probably spooked them. It probably spooked them, all the human activity on this dirt road. All the traffic. They can hear the traffic down below the canyon too. They're really spooked. These poor elk, the elders especially, could have had a heart attack. Straight up heart attack, guys. A freaking heart attack. I have made it to the road, and from here I'm just gonna freeze a little bit. It's gonna be freezing. It's okay though. While I make my way back over to the AMBO. I have to stop real quick and just show you guys the view from up here. This is super cool. Alright, I better quit messing around. I'm gonna freeze to death. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining the ride. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. I'll hit highway down here and take a left, and I will be completely legal to do so. I almost just ran into a freaking baby bear. That wouldn't have ended well. Mama and her cubs back there. I almost ran into one of them. Ooh, man, that's sketchy. Of course I wasn't recording.